What's up, John? So rather than just type all this shit up, I'm just going to make a short little video about the little sequence I'm going to send you on the email. There's some anatomy and physiology of the arm, shoulder, and forearm, because I know that shit's been giving me a lot of trouble since you've been gone. So what we're going to do first is just try to get this joint kind of lined up. So what ends up happening is when you're in this kind of position, your hands turn, this joint ends up being a little bit out of position and it's not ever really having a chance to lock all the way. And so the joint itself and then the tendons around here get really fired up. So I'm going to use a voodoo band. This is a really OG voodoo band, pre-voodoo band. So we want to start first is actually wrapping below the elbow and then carrying this up as far into the bicep as we can. So the wrap I'm going to do is going to be quick for video's sake. What we want to make sure of is that every time that you pass the trouble spot, you add some tension. Hey buddy. Alright, so we're just rolling it up. Add tension. And continuing through all the way up. And you'd want to keep going up so you get this as high as possible. If you can get somebody to help you, it's better. If you're by yourself, take more time than I am. I'm just trying to get it done quick right now. So, once you're banded up, if you have a secondary band, that's great. What I would say is get that thing up around your elbow. In fact, if you don't have a secondary band, you can take your other, if you have a second voodoo band, because I know they come in pairs, tie it around something. The extra tension does help. So what you do is hook the second band above your elbow joint, get some tension on that thing, open your hand up, and then all you want to do is make sure that you're rotating out and you're just touching in your end range. So you should actually feel the joint fully lock. If you leave it slack at all and you try to extend, you're not going to get the same result. So you need to make sure you're externally rotating as much as possible as you touch, and every time you bend your elbow, you want to try to rotate a little bit more. So you should feel some pretty good stretch on this sort of little outer tendon. You're going to do that about 30 times. Take your time with it and really look for that end range. And the second piece you can do, and again, if you have a band, it's better. If not, you can still do the range of motion and it'll work fine. Now you're going to hook below the elbow. Get some tension on here, and then what we want is palm towards your shoulder first, and then you're just going to touch in your end range here. So we're just trying to create some gapping in the elbow joint. You could do this with a rolled up like hand towel or something if you're in a hotel. Just put it right in the crook of the elbow and touch here, and then hand away and touch and go through that way about 20 times in each direction. Once you do that, ditch the band, and then we go to our lacrosse ball. Alright, so you're going to feel a huge rush of blood back into your arm. And once you're there, you can take a double lacrosse ball if you have one with you. If not, you could use a Supernova on here or whatever. And you see on the email that I sent you that, of course, there's the extensors and the flexors. Normally we get a symptom is in the flexors, but the extensors end up getting really burnt out too when we're gripping a lot. So what we're going to do is get your forearm right in between the lacrosse ball, so you're basically trapping the bone in place. Then you take your other ball. My Supernova is not handy, but if this was your Supernova, you just get it in place and create some tension. So we're trying to get into the meat that's between the radius and the ulna. Twist, and then really slowly rotate your hand back and forth, Flex and extend, move your fingers as you're doing it, get all those little muscles some attention, move down and repeat the effort. Don't rush, take your time, okay? Don't be afraid to move into a little bit different spots and create some pressure in both directions. Alright, so once you've done both of those things, another thing that I recommend is a contrast bath for your arms. That's something I've been doing for a long time because of manual therapy. So what you do is you fill up a sink or tub or whatever ice bucket, one with really cold water, one with really hot water. Dunk your arms in from the elbow all the way down to your hand. 1 minute in cold, 1 minute in hot, 1 minute back in cold. If you can take ice, like if you can handle that, put ice in the water too, and it's just going to create this big flush and help mitigate some of the inflammation that's going on. Everything else would be in the email. If you have any questions, of course, get in touch.